It's Katie Kreisdale here from Lakeview Aquatic Consultants. Welcome back to the Aquatic Industry Insider. Today, I had an amazing conversation with Alex Ojeda. Alex is a content creator with a particular focus on water parks. He's worked with different cruise lines, such as Royal Caribbean, partnered with amazing brands such as Walt Disney World, Kalahari Resorts, traveled all over the world from the Middle East to China, to Bali, to Mexico. He is an incredible creator to follow. I really enjoyed hearing how he got his start and his passion for sharing these experiences with others. I hope you enjoy this conversation. Welcome back, everyone. I am thrilled to be joined today by Alex Ojeda. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Thanks so much for being here. My first question for you is, how do you describe what you do to people who do not live on social media like the rest of us?
Oh, that's a fun question. Essentially, I hate to use the term I'm an influencer, but I kind of use the term content creator. So I explain it like I create content showcasing the world's most thrilling, family-friendly travel experiences. I travel around, create content, and then share it to my social media channels across TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, just everywhere, primarily short-form video. I also do longer-form content every now and then over on YouTube. But essentially, I create high-quality content. So when you're swiping, you see a lot of travel-style videos. A lot of it revolves around water parks, cruise ships, zip lines, and other commercialized thrilling activity.
And it goes like this. We get in your car and you need to kiss me. We talk for hours and lie on the backseat. And we won't pass the night when everything changes. You want more time, we'll go back to strangers.
Speaking as somebody who loves pools and water parks, how did you get into doing this? You've been doing this for a long time. You had over 4 million subscribers in 2019. You're almost a decade into this. So how did you get started?
I would say about 6-7 years ago now, probably like 7. It has been a long time, but essentially I was just bored in high school. So this was before TikTok, before Instagram Reels or any like established short form video platforms. I was just bored on Instagram. There was a lot of meme pages. So the static images of funny memes and everybody sending them around, and pages have hundreds of thousands of followers. And it just sparked curiosity. How are they doing this? There's someone on the back end hosting, creating, and sharing this content. I was just curious. And around the same time, the game Fortnite was also very popular here in America. It was blowing up everywhere. And there was meme pages themed around Fortnite where people were posting good gameplay clips, funny memes around the video game. At the time, my brother was spending hours playing the video game, but I would tell him, like, you need a Twitch stream. There was a lot of streamers being popular. You're really good at the game. And he didn't want to. He just wanted to play. It's a way to escape. But I told him, okay, send me the gameplay. And at the time, my grandmother had just moved in with us from Mexico. And so I was like, Grandma, here, put this headset on, hold this controller in your hand, and pretend like you're playing the video game. So I mixed the two, my brother's gameplay and my grandmother, edited it together, and I threw the video up on her Instagram page. We have no followers or anything, and 200,000 views overnight. Lots of big pages like the meme pages and the Fortnite pages were taking the content, resharing it, and tagging us. And so I just started creating videos with my grandmother playing the video game, doing funny dances, little things around Fortnite, and grew to around 1,000 followers. And unfortunately, my grandmother got into a depression, so it was harder to film with her. And so I was like, well, I have all this content. What do I do with it? So I started seeing ads for TikTok, made a TikTok page, threw them up there. It was like another overnight virality. So then let me make my own channel. From what I learned there, I started making my own page, just doing trends, TikTok that were lip syncing, dancing, a more personality based, had nothing to do with aquatics, nothing to do with water parks. And I just kind of grew an audience. Like you said, in 2019, I still had none of that. I just blew up on TikTok, a little bit on Instagram, mainly TikTok and Instagram were the platforms I was using. And then in 2020, I had the opportunity to join the TikTok Creator Ambassador program. Essentially, they selected 12 creators from the US to come represent them at press opportunities. And so when I met the other creators, they all had their own niche. Kind of like, oh, I do car content, video game content, I do family comedy. And when it came to me, what do you do? And it was like, I just do trends. It was an opening experience because I was like, well, these guys do their passion, what they love, and create content around it. So I really took a step back after that and was like, well, what do I love to do? I always grew up going on cruise ships with my family. That was the thing. My parents were very young when they came from Mexico. They came to here. I'm based in Austin. They went to UT for school. And had 3 kids while in college. We never went on vacation. Financially, it wasn't a thing. And so when my dad started working, he won $5,000 wherever he was working in a raffle to go on a cruise ship. We took that vacation and my parents saw how much fun we had. And they were like, necessarily cheap. We want to keep giving these experiences to our family. So we're going to work hard. And they built their American dream. And off of just like that one vacation, it motivated them essentially to work hard and give us those experiences. And so we connected as a family. We ended up doing probably 14 cruises together from age 12 to age 18. And we go on water slides, go to the beach, go to all water leisure, thrilling activities. So maybe there's an opportunity to get into doing travel content. I didn't necessarily think water parks specifically or cruise ships, just general travel. So I started posting general travel. My audience obviously wasn't receptive to it. Realizing if I make informational content that shares where these destinations are, where these experiences are, people really like it and they share it and does performs a lot better. A water park just happened to open up here. It's called Kalahari Resorts, massive indoor water park, about 30 minutes from where I live. And I just reached out to them mainly in the mindset of, let me get a free hotel stay. This would be so cool. And they were open to it. I did the trade collaboration. I was just flexing, I guess, on my story. Look how cool I am. I got this free stay. And people were swiping up, where is this place? That slide looks awesome. I didn't even think this would make a good post. So I took it off my story, threw it up on a feed post. It went viral. I shared the location, shared the slide specifically, and Disney picked up on it because I'd worked with them before. They were like, hey, we want you to come to our water park. So then I went to Blizzard Beach up in Orlando, and the content did really well. And then it was kind of a chain reaction of parks just reaching out. After enough parks reached out, I was like, well, it's so much fun. Let me look into what other parks there are that I could go cover. And it just spiraled into what it is today. Where you see that presence across all platforms. And there's really a niche in the water park space, but it's really because that family foundation, going on cruise ship water slides, how can I inspire as many families as possible to have that same experience through my content? And so that's kind of how I got to the niche I'm in today. After visiting a park in upstate New York, it's called the Cartwright. Beautiful indoor water park. I fell in love with the park. Normally I was me, the marketing manager or the PR person. But at this park, I happened to meet Aquatic's director running the water park. And just sunk into me at that place for some reason. She gets to be here every single day, working in this environment, giving families this experience. This is incredible. I want to do that. So I started Googling how to own a water park operations, and all this stuff. I saw WWA was right here in San Antonio a couple of years ago, not knowing too many people. Out of the blue, booked a ticket, went down there, and just jaw dropped to the world of aquatics. And ever since then, I haven't looked back. It's a lot of fun.
There's so much I would say about your content. The first thing that comes to mind is it's so authentic, which I know is such an overplayed word in 2024. But I feel in what you show the audience, that same passion that I have for the industry, that not every influencer, if we use that term broadly, lots of people will take a payday to showcase a product that they are only half-heartedly into. You go down slides, you're doing snuba, you're doing bungee jumping, you're doing whatever type of activity, and you appear into it, which is what I think for me, watching the content is so interesting. And then you do the content so well in terms of showcasing drone shots, the color palette of a facility. Without giving away the secret sauce, talk us through the process when you get to one of these sites. What are you interested in, or how do you decide to showcase these properties?
Definitely. So, I mean, there's a mixture of, I'm like the weatherman. So I'm not necessarily influencer in a sense of, hey guys, this is what I eat for breakfast. No one cares what I eat for breakfast. People are following me for the credibility. I'm kind of a familiar figure. Just like the weatherman, you trust that he's going to show you the best weather. You trust that I'm going to show you the greatest travel experiences around the world. I have to do thrilling and are family accessible. In that mindset, when I'm picking these destinations, it's a little bit of a personal preference, what I actually like, but then also what is my audience? Number one is what's the audience going to love and where can I provide the most value to people who could potentially watch this video? Usually it's like a newer water park, a new cruise ship, new stuff, or a lot of times it's record breaking. So I'll also like things that are like world's longest, world's tallest, America's longest, and things that are awesome. I don't just go showcase anything. It really has to have that Alex Ojeda whoa effect, I guess I would say. And then once I'm on site, usually I'll have someone with me, like a coordinator helping me record, because obviously sometimes I'm in the content, I can't record myself. Someone's recording me while I'm on site. I'll have the drone, 360 cameras, and mix different angles, and really I'll experience the attraction first, usually sometimes without a camera, to kind of see how it is, and then figure out what are the best ways to actually showcase these things. Because there's a lot of times where you can film an attraction and just doesn't give off how cool it actually is. Or sometimes the attraction maybe isn't actually that thrilling, but we can make it look more thrilling, or we can showcase it in a different light, whether that's visually appealing, playing around with different angles and different ways to shoot. Sometimes I'll write an attraction up to times if I need to actually play with the camera angles and make sure we're getting the perfect shot. So it's just a mixture of playing with angles and playing with different ways to, give people an experience where they're not just watching a video, they feel like they're actually experiencing it with me. And can gain that value of looks awesome. Let me go try it.
Well, I think the time that you're investing in those multiple takes, in that B-roll, in that experiential investigation before you even start shooting, it comes through in what I'm seeing on the viewing end, because you've done such a variety of experiences. Like you said, you're doing traditional water parks that people know, the big brands like Walt Disney World, Kalahari. I remember seeing you doing a dining experience way up high in Dubai, doing deep dive Dubai. You've been to China, looking at water parks there, dry slides. You've done partnerships with so many different brands. Every time I log in, there's always something different. It's really, really interesting. And I would consider myself pretty well traveled, but you're showcasing stuff that I had no idea was out there. Kudos to you on the research that you're doing, or at this point, people are pitching you and you're picking what you want to do.
Yeah, definitely. There is a lot of research and pre-production that goes in to planning things. I always try to find the hidden gems, the things that people don't normally think. I also, like I said, I'm a water park nerd. I'm always looking for those type of experiences. Generally, when you're looking to travel with your family, you're not always thinking to go to a water park. And so it's really trying to change people's perspective. Like you said, you think you're well traveled, but you may have seen these destinations, but I'm showing you the thrill side. I've built this massive community of people who love this type of travel and bringing that to life. Typically, there's a lot of tourism boards that will reach out, or for example, I work with Royal Caribbean, the cruise line, directly. Those are typical partnerships. I also partner with Whitewater, the slide manufacturer, whenever they have new stuff. So it's a mixture of those type of partnerships. I never wanted to feel like I'm selling to the audience, meaning I'll never take on a partnership that does not feel organic or that I don't feel provides value to the audience. A lot of my partnerships are tourism related in that sense. So you never feel like you're being sold to. There are times I've partnered with the action camera companies and things like that. But even then, I'm always doing it in an organic light, because in the end, I'm always followers first, my audience first. What are they going to enjoy? And kind of working my partnerships around that. With the niche I'm in, I have the opportunity to take on some of these partnerships and have that really natural integration.
Well, there's been some incredible exclusives. I followed your content when you were on Utopia sailing out, Icon sailing out. We are cruisers in this household. We love Royal Caribbean as well. So it's always nice to see something that's not widely out there yet, or your perspective is unique. I genuinely want to see the slides and pools, and the level of detail you provide is really unique, because we actually care what the turns are like on the water slide. We actually care about the wave size on a surf pool. And I think your interest in that shows through.
Yeah, no, 100%. It goes back always to the value. I always want to be informational in the content. I'm always being factual, because I feel like there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's also a lot of creators who will go on a random slide and just be like, hey, this is the longest in the world, even though it has nothing to do with those records. And so the biggest thing for me is having a credibility aspect to everything I do, the content being strictly facts. And I try to stay away from using descriptive work like this is the scariest ride, this is the craziest ride. This all just goes back to credibility.
I think what you're doing with the water slide manufacturers is really important, because speaking as somebody, my background is more in the box pools, municipalities, community centers. There's a lot of new water slides out there that are being invented. People don't realize how many options they have in terms of conveyor systems, different types of rafts. Your content was the first time I'd seen these stand-up water slides that were recently showcased at WWA. It's good that some are partnering with you, because it also makes you realize that others are not getting their products out there in a way that is reaching the target audience.
It's been awesome. And being the water slide nerd, that's obviously one of my favorite partnerships, especially working with Whitewater. They are innovating so much. And I've also been working in consulting roles with certain properties to discuss slide paths and designs and products, and also being part of these conversations. It's crazy to see how much I didn't even know existed. And when it goes back to how can I give the most value to the audience, I'm always trying to be first to these projects. So working with Royal Caribbean, working with Whitewater, these brands allow me to be first to showcase this stuff and see it from a whole different light. Like, for example, I'm getting to go to the shipyards whenever they're building new ships, and experience or water park construction sites, things like that. People see that side, and it builds a lot of credibility with the audience. Like, I'm showcasing stuff that is the future. This is the best of the best.
Well, and I think it's one of those things that builders, designers, architects, operators have often thought that the lay person, the bather, they don't care about these details. And a lot of people do. I mean, in 2024, people are researching their vacations to a level of detail that previously didn't happen 20 years ago. And so to have a brand like Royal Caribbean who thinks about the pathway that people are going to walk to get to slides, to think about the stairs, to think about, where a family's going to sit and congregate, where are people going to go and get food, you can showcase a sliver of that in your clips. But on the flip side, why not let the world know that there's that level of detail that went into building this product?
100%.
One of the other brand partnerships I wanted to ask you about was with the US Army last year. And I thought it was really, really creative. My husband is retired from the Army and follows recruiting numbers, follows the challenges where they don't recruit online. I thought, wow, this is amazing that they actually gave you some leeway to showcase a different side of being deployed or working in Korea. So can you talk a little bit about that partnership?
Definitely one of my career highlights, one of my favorite partnerships that I ever experienced. Obviously, never in a million years did I think I'm going to partner with the Army, but it was incredible getting to see what it's actually behind the scenes. I was never educated on anything military, Army. So getting to be a part of that was awesome from that front. But then also from the content standpoint, I had never thought that there would be a fit, but it was so awesome because when you're stationed overseas, you get these incredible travel experiences. That's basically what we were showing, the day in the life, both on base and then also when you get to travel. So we went to a water park on an island in South Korea and had some fun there, showcasing different food, a lot of cultural experiences and things like that, but really just showcasing those travel experiences. It was an awesome partnership and I enjoyed it a lot.
So for those people who don't know, Alex has, as of today, 8.5 million followers on TikTok, 4 and a bit million followers on YouTube, 800,000 followers on Instagram. You talked us through a little bit kind of how you got started, but has there been any particular moment or partnership or video where it's really sunk in that this is what you do as your full-time job?
Well, I feel like since I had that slow start and also given that I was started living in my parents' home, it wasn't necessarily a drastic change where I feel like a lot of people, maybe they're doing something completely different in their life. It blows up overnight. I kind of gradually built up to where I am, been full-time the whole time doing it outside of just going to school. But once school really ended, that was back in like 2019 for me. I just stuck with this. There wasn't necessarily one moment that was like, dang, I get to be a creator. Once I started taking on more partnerships and really building the business side of it, it definitely sunk in. There is longevity in this. This is not just a fun thing I'm doing or just messing around on TikTok. Getting to do speaking opportunities and other things that are more professional definitely give me that feel of this is incredible, but it's definitely never been a sudden drastic change.
I was going to ask what your family thinks because I saw you had your dad with you at World Water Park Association conference in Las Vegas. What has it been like to be able to provide them some of these opportunities to visit if you're hosted?
Honestly, it's been incredible. For me, with the cruise ship partnership is like a full circle moment. Our family was really built on the foundation of going on cruise ships as a family, and being Hispanic, being Mexican, we're very tight-knit, always close together family. When we were doing these vacations, the coolest thing was that excitement when I got that initial contract with the cruise line. That was also a very proud moment for them. So that was an incredible experience. Most recently, when Icon of the Seas launched, I had the opportunity to bring my grandmother and my mom along with me on a week sailing. It was the most memorable and the best experience because 3 weeks after that sailing, my grandmother passed away. And it's that same grandmother who I started creating content with and really had that relationship with. And it was awesome to experience that with her. We had an amazing time, not necessarily from the content front, showcasing her having a great time, but we really just got to take that week and really enjoy it since I had already gotten all my content done personally. Those experiences like that to me, like invaluable and just absolutely incredible. Then, that when Utopia of the Seas launched, I had my dad and uncle with me along with my brother, having an incredible time. So there's definitely a lot of fun and I get to enjoy. A lot of it is actual work. People think I'm just on vacation the whole time and they're like, you're just messing around, but typically, like with certain partnerships, I'm able to get my work done and then also have some enjoyment, which is really cool and to get to experience. I'm not necessarily bringing friends or just leisurely doing things. Usually when I do get the opportunities, I will try to incorporate family whenever I can.
No, it's a grind, whatever you do when you work for yourself. If you're independent, consultant, content creator, whatever it is, there's so much behind the scenes that people don't appreciate. On Instagram for about 7 years now, I've had my own hashtag to showcase the pools that I work at in Canada. That has often been the feedback. Oh, you're waking up in a different hotel. You don't actually work. People don't see the red eye flights. They don't see 6 or 7 hours of prep to pitch something that doesn't end up happening for 2.5 years. It is so much work. Can you give us an approximate how many hours you're filming and editing? Reels and shorts are thankless because they have to be high quality, but they're over in an instant.
I stopped traveling full time where I was just constantly on the go. Now I'm about 2 weeks out of the month. I'm being more strategic with the travel. So for example, earlier this summer, I took a trip where it's no brand affiliation or anything, just strictly we did 2 weeks in Europe, basically road tripping, driving 4 hours every day to a different spot in Europe. Every single day was a different property. And we're filming, I would say, anywhere from like 4 to 6 hours a day running around. In this case, we're showcasing not just singular attractions, we're showcasing parks as a whole, spending time throwing the drone up, running down the slides, getting shots. Sometimes we have to reshoot things. And when you're at a park that has 16, 17 slides, having to reshoot things and run up and down, and then you check the footage and making sure you have everything, it was definitely a grind. And then on top of that, having to drive every single day. That's a perfect example of being more intentional, how much I'm actually working. There's that. And then on top of that, I have to be on top of my emails. I have to be on top of working with my editors to get this content. So really, I feel like I'm more in a coordination type of role where when I'm not traveling, I'm working with my editors and my team to get all that content ready to upload, essentially. I spend a lot of time filming, and then when I'm not filming, it's coordinating everything with my brand partners.
Well, and a lot of people don't realize a lot of water parks are outside. So the light at 10 a.m. versus 4 p.m. when you realize you need to reshoot something and then trying to get it to match, it's a struggle. I feel for what you're doing. The end result, it's amazing. And it shows in 74 million views on that boat in Capri.
That Capri video is an incredible example of when I say I'm trying to be as organic as possible. Essentially, that was a partnership with Royal Caribbean. They're trying to promote their hashtag Europe like a royal. I could have easily showcased different stuff on the ship or different parts of the itinerary, but this was an incredible example of where the brand trusted me. And I had done research prior. We're going to this port. What is there that I can explore from the thrill-seeking realm? Because you really think about food, awesome views, maybe the beach. You don't really think about crazy experiences like that. How can I get that message across? Take this itinerary. This is an experience you could do. And at first, obviously, there's like, hey, well, can we incorporate the ship somehow? How are we tying this back in? The brand had a lot of trust. I put this video out there. It's one of my most viewed videos, 180 something million. And definitely one of the most popular collaboration with Royal. So there's a lot of those super cool opportunities to share experiences like that.
And I hope more brands realize they need to go in that direction of allowing their content creators trust, because it's exactly to your point. If there was a ship in that shot, it would have made no sense whatsoever, because the ship can't anchor that close to the port or to the shore. It just wouldn't have worked. And the fact that it was very much on brand, on content for your level of interest in terms of activity, the vehicle is getting there via cruise ship. The vehicle is being in Europe in the summer on a European cruise. You don't have to hit people over the head with it.
Definitely. And even before I worked with them, that's what I was doing is I would book a cruise, and literally my lifestyle when I would cruise is I'd get up, hit the flow rider, surf for an hour or two, and then I'd jump off onto an island and go film some experience. And then I'd come back onto the cruise ship next day, hit the next island. And so that kind of mindset, obviously, yes, I was doing that for content, but it's also an incredible way to travel. So you get to do this awesome experience, but you don't have to worry about taking Ubers, taxis to the hotel, picking up your stuff, moving it. You're visiting multiple destinations. That vehicle is not only a vehicle, it's also a very comfortable way to travel, and incredible experiences both on board and on shore. You get to basically mix the two together, which is something you don't get when you're flying to a destination. Getting to promote the cruise line in that light, that's how I was normally doing it even before I worked with them. So it's awesome to be able to showcase that working with them as well.
Cruising absolutely gets a bad rap from people who've never tried it. They think it's formulaic, and it can be exactly what you want it to be. I'm preaching to the choir. You know it. I know it. People who cruise know it. But it really does get stuck where people think it's only one thing and it's whatever you make it.
100%. I get that all the time. Isn't that for old people? Clearly you haven't seen my content. It's got to always direct them to, but I'm showcasing the thrilling side of cruising. Some people don't even think that that's a thing, thrilling and cruising. They think like, oh, it's just a honeymoon for old people. No. Cruising, especially with Royal, these are world-class experiences. It is the best way to travel. There is no other better water leisure experiences on earth that you can do as a family, as a group, with friends. Doesn't matter who you're traveling with. Everything that encompasses the newer stuff on Royal Caribbean is absolutely incredible. There's nothing like it in terms of travel. And so it's just getting that message out there that, look, you can be a young thrill seeker and enjoy all the perks of the ship and those experiences both on board and on.
Well, and it's also really exciting to see what they're starting to do with the new beach clubs and expanding on what they've done at Coco Cay. When I first went to Coco Cay, I came back and I said to somebody, best water park, best island ever. And somebody said, really? What? It's so well designed. It's so thought out. The traffic patterns, the amenities, all of that makes so much sense as a pool person. And the fact that it's exclusive to the cruise line is complete marketing genius. So they can take that forward into Bahamas and Mexico, the different locations they're plotting. I think there's a lot that people don't realize is happening that is so unique for a lot of different properties.
Definitely, 100%. And I can't share too much on Mexico, but it will be one of the greatest places, not just for the cruise industry, but on Earth in general. The way Royal Caribbean's heading, there are some incredible experiences, especially this summer with Star Seas coming out. It's going to top off Icon and just. It's just upward trajectory for the entire brand.
Can you give us any teasers? What else you are working on, or any particular travel plans you're excited about for 2020?
Honestly, I promise I'm not saying this just because you're here, but Canada is on my list. I've been to Canada maybe on the cruise ship once, but never to explore water parks. Definitely want to get out there to go to the World Water Park. I love parks with a lot of history. And I've also heard awesome things about Canada's Wonderland, and, Wet n Wild Toronto, and some of these other parks. I definitely want to do a Canada water park thrill-seeking trip for sure. That's on the bucket list, and it's been in the plans before we ever had these conversations. I definitely want to go back to Mexico and showcase the more niche areas, less tourism, less like not Cancun, not Cabo. I want to show like real Mexico. Mexico has a lot of thrilling experiences. I did a trip in I believe 2022 to showcase some water parks outside of Mexico City, and they have some of my most popular videos, but I want to expand. So I would say here in North America is where I'm more excited. Saudi Arabia, they're opening the Aquatic water park. That will be one of the greatest on earth. For me, Middle East, that really gets me excited. And then there's some more projects actually in China that definitely caught my eye, and maybe Malaysia. I actually at WWA got to meet the GM of Waterbomb Bali, number one water park in Asia. I've been in contact with them online for the longest time. So that's also another exciting part. Those are the top of the bucket list items as of right now.
The money and plans for different parks and amenities in Saudi Arabia is absolutely incredible. I've been following a colleague who used to be at Atlantis Dubai, who's now working for Qiddiya Entertainment, and just the theming, the scale of everything they're talking about, and then some of the operational considerations in terms of having to chill the water or cool down the tracks, because in the heat of the summer, it's going to be so hot. It's just so interesting, as the scale is going to be so much different from what a lot of us are used to in North America in terms of the sky's the limit, or there is no limit with some of these projects.
I'm super excited. I believe that park specifically is having a lot of record-breaking attractions, like for world records, not only just like Middle East records. And also in Middle East, I'm very excited about the Yas Water World. They're building an expansion to that park as well. It's one of my favorite water parks out there. So definitely excited to get back out there for that at Arabia when it opens.
So I know we're close for time. Is there anything big goal wise? Do you want to build your own water park? Do you want to run a water park? I mean, where do you see this maybe going in 3 or 4 years? I know you don't have a crystal ball, but what else is coming up, or what else is interesting to you in terms of amenities and amusement that's on the horizon?
Definitely. So my end goal in everything I'm doing is to own and operate my own water park. Ideally, that's the dream. For now, until then, it's just getting to take on more unique roles with parks in terms of not only just the content creator. I'm doing a lot of consulting right now. I launched with Water Supply Resort this past summer. They're in upstate New York, and doing consulting on their social presence and helping manage that. And then the consulting side, really excited about is working with brands in the product development side of things, where people really trust my credibility from the guest experience standpoint, and getting to really give my input on that side, taking on those opportunities and exploring that more. But then on top of that, educating myself. So I take on a lot of mentorship programs with different various park owners, GMs, and learning operations. I'm a nerd, and I just never stop learning. So creating content and everything's fun. Right now, my priorities are to take on more significant roles with parks.
Last question. I know you can't tell us your favorite park because that might upset some partners, but what is your favorite type of ride when it comes to a water park? Like, do you gravitate towards those big drops? Do you gravitate towards the rafts?
If I'm with a group or with family, I always gravitate towards the family raft rides, getting to ride with other individuals, and sometimes those 6-seaters are awesome. Those are some of my favorites, specifically because I love shared experiences like that. From the thrill-seeking side, I love trapdoor slides, but anything that's super long. I just enjoy longer rides. I love slide effects, the translucent lighting and things like that. And then in general, I love flow surfing, wave machines, and taking on that personally. So lazy rivers, wave pools, I love them, especially parks that have staggered wave systems and those larger wave pools that have different modes.
That's part of the other reason I love your content is those are the rides I will never do. You could not pay me enough money to do those drop slides, but I appreciate that you're willing to go the mile for the rest of us and show us what we're missing.
That's a comment I get a lot of times, both physically in the comments of the videos, but also a lot of individuals who physically can't experience these attractions, or maybe it's a financial thing or a logistical thing. So getting to showcase them, getting to give those experiences to people who are maybe too scared.
Absolutely. I mean, in this economy, it's very difficult for people to be able to maybe take their family of 4 or 5 to a water park. They may have to save up for a year or two, but it's a great family experience. And as you've shared, and whether it's cruising, water parks, or other types of activities that really bond a family together and create those long-term memories. Okay, well, I want to say thank you so much to Alex Ojeda for being here today. If you don't follow him on social media, you are missing out. You can catch him on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, on all the different platforms. So wherever your home is, you will find Alex and his content. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll catch you in the next video.